I tested my husband to feel safe. He recorded everything. And without cheating, fighting, or yelling, I lost my marriage. I didn't think I was betraying my husband. I thought I was protecting myself. That's what my friends told me anyway. They said it was just a test. Just a way to see the truth. Just something every woman should do before it's too late. What they didn't tell me was that my husband would hear every word and record everything. Because what started as a harmless test ended my marriage without a single argument. No screaming, no cheating, no dramatic confrontation. Just one recording, and the realization that trust doesn't survive games. My husband loved quietly. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't dramatic. He showed love through consistency. Morning texts, coming home on time, listening when I talked, even when it wasn't interesting. And that's the problem no one warns you about. When love is stable, people around you start calling it boring. It started during a casual conversation. One of my friends laughed and said, "Men only behave when they think they're being watched." Another added, "If he's really loyal, a test won't hurt." They spoke with confidence, like experts, and slowly they began rewriting my reality. I told myself, if he passes the test, we'll be stronger. I didn't frame it as deception. I framed it as verification. I ignored the fact that trust doesn't need verification. And when doubt is planted deep enough, even a good marriage starts to feel fragile. The idea wasn't even mine. They planned it together. A fake account, a friendly message, harmless flirting, nothing explicit, nothing obvious, just enough to see if my husband would cross a line. And I agreed. That's the part that still haunts. Because my friends spoke with certainty. They told stories. My cousin tested her man. My coworker caught hers cheating this way. Fear is persuasive. And when fear sounds like wisdom, you stop questioning it. What I didn't know was that my husband had already sensed something was off. Not suspicion of cheating, suspicion of me. I had been distant, careless with my words. And instead of confronting me, he started paying attention. The message was sent. A simple greeting. A compliment. I watched my phone like it was a courtroom verdict. Minutes passed. Then hours. Then a response. Polite. Brief. No flirting. Relief washed over me. But my friends weren't satisfied. They said, "That's not enough. You need to push." Men resist once, not twice. So the messages became bolder, more personal, more suggestive, and every message sent felt like a small betrayal. But I kept going, because stopping would mean admitting I was wrong. What I didn't know was that my husband had recognized the writing style, the phrasing, the timing. It felt familiar, too familiar. So instead of replying emotionally, he documented everything. Screenshots, audio recordings, timestamps, not to expose the fake woman, but to understand his wife. The test crossed a line when the fake account suggested meeting up. That was never the plan. I froze. My friends laughed. Now we'll see who he really is. And that's when my stomach dropped. Because suddenly, I wasn't testing him anymore. I was betraying him. My husband didn't flirt back. He didn't agree. He responded calmly. "I don't know who you are, but someone close to me is trying to set me up." And then he added, "And I hope she understands what she's risking." I read those words and felt something break inside me, because in that moment, I realized the test hadn't revealed his character. It revealed mine. And what I didn't know yet was that the conversation wasn't over. It was being saved, recorded, and prepared for the day I would have to face it. He didn't confront me right away. That's the part people don't understand. If he had yelled, accused, or stormed out, I might have defended myself. I might have minimized it. I might have blamed my friends. But he didn't. He waited. And that waiting told me everything I needed to know about how seriously I had damaged our marriage. It was an ordinary evening. Dinner dishes still on the counter. The TV humming in the background. No tension in the air. Then he said it. "Can we talk for a minute?" Not "we need to talk." Not angry. Not cold. Just calm. And that calm terrified me more than rage ever could. He pulled out his phone. Not dramatically. Not to threaten.
He placed it on the table between us and said, "Before you explain anything, I want you to hear what I heard." Then he pressed play. I recognized my voice instantly. The tone, the pauses, the laughter. Messages I had sent with my friends sitting beside me. Jokes I thought were harmless. Plans I told myself weren't real. But hearing them out loud, with him sitting across from me, was unbearable. Because suddenly, it wasn't a test. It was manipulation. The recording didn't show my husband flirting. It didn't show temptation. It showed something worse. It showed me doubting his loyalty, me playing games with his trust, me prioritizing my friends' opinions over my marriage. And that's when I realized I wasn't testing his character. I was exposing mine. When the recording ended, he didn't speak right away. He stared at the table. Then he said something I will never forget. "I didn't record this to trap you. I recorded it to understand why my wife didn't trust me." That sentence broke me, because I didn't have a good answer. Then he asked, "If your friends told you to test me, what happens the day they tell you to leave me?" I opened my mouth to speak. Nothing came out, because in that moment, I realized I had allowed outside voices to become louder than my marriage. He didn't pack his bags that night. He slept on the couch, but something had already shifted. He stopped asking questions, stopped checking in, stopped planning ahead. Trust doesn't always shatter loudly. Sometimes it just withdraws. My friends told me I was overreacting. If he's innocent, he should be flattered. Men do worse all the time. But none of them were there when he stopped touching my hand. None of them heard the silence stretch between us. None of them felt the distance grow. And that's when I understood. People who don't live in your marriage should never be allowed to test it. Weeks later, he sat me down again. No anger, no shouting, just clarity. "I can forgive mistakes," he said, "but I can't build a future with someone who treats trust like a game." That was it. No debate, no counseling phase, no dramatic ending. Just the quiet realization that I had lost a good man without him ever doing anything wrong. The hardest part wasn't losing him. It was realizing how easily I had been influenced, how quickly I allowed doubt to replace gratitude, how casually I let other people rewrite my reality.
I didn't lose my husband because he failed a test. I lost him because I gave him one. A relationship built on trust cannot survive surveillance. Love isn't proven through traps. Loyalty isn't confirmed through deception. And anyone who encourages you to test your partner isn't protecting you. They're planting a seed that will eventually grow into loss. If you're listening to this and considering just a test, ask yourself this: if trust needs proof, is it really trust anymore? Because some tests don't reveal betrayal. They create it. If this story made you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort might save your relationship. Let me know in the comments. Would you forgive a partner who tested you instead of trusting you? If stories like this help you think deeper about love, loyalty, and influence, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, the greatest warning signs come disguised as advice.